Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from West Wind. I had some people ask me about Zomin Wallet. Now that Ripple acquired Palisade, and they're creating that wallet as a service platform. West Wind says, "Dear worried Zomin Wallet customers in DM and on X, no, Ripple won't put us out of business. That wallet news is an enterprise solution, not a consumer-facing wallet app. Don't worry. Ripple is playing the enterprise long game. It's not going to affect Zomin Wallet in any way." This comes from Smoke. Ripple plans to retain 25% of all XRP in anticipation of rising XRP price as network demand grows. I keep seeing everybody saying the same thing. Ripple's going to dump all of that escrow onto the XRP holders. First of all, people saying this don't realize that escrow, it's locked away and only 1 billion tokens gets unlocked every single month. And then we watch Ripple lock back a lot of that XRP. So even if Ripple wanted to dump on the XRP community, they would have to wait every single month for that 1 billion tokens to get unlocked. But Ripple plans on keeping ownership of 25% of the XRP in the Ripple system. And with that 25% of the XRP, they're going to utilize it strategically to bring even more utility to XRP, which is going to push up the price of XRP more and more over time. And Ripple is not going to burn the escrow. I think some of that escrow is already spoken for. A well-known crypto commenter says XRP belongs to the financial elite. Ripple is backed by the IMF, BIS, and World Bank. People always said, how does Brad get a seat at all these tables? You see Brad sitting there with the ECB, the BIS, the IMF, and you wonder to yourself, how is Brad pulling this off? It's because Ripple is already aligned with the elite. The elites see Ripple as the future. And this was going to happen a long time ago. This was always put in motion a long time ago. And I even think that the IMF, the BIS, the World Bank, the ECB, other central banks, they're going to be the ones that end up with some of that escrow over time. But I always told you, just because the elites see XRP as the future, that should make you want to buy this cryptocurrency even more. The elites don't lose money. They pick winners and they pick losers. They picked XRP to be a winner a long time ago. So they're going to make money, and you, by investing into XRP, you're going to make money as well. This comes from Smoke. DBS Bank. Ripple plans to IPO in 2026. Ripple is the only company with a publicly traded native asset, XRP, directly positioned to capture the momentum crypto IPO. So DBS is now saying Ripple's going to IPO next year. That goes in line with this right here. NASDAQ CEO says, well over 17 crypto companies are waiting for IPO approval once the U.S. government shutdown ends. She said it at Ripple Swell. Let that sink in. So is Ripple going to IPO in 2026? If you listen to Brad, he always says Ripple doesn't need to do an IPO. Their balance sheet is solid. But it would make sense for Ripple to IPO next year. Let's see if it happens. But this government shutdown is affecting so many things right now. And once they reopen the government, Watch how quick crypto stabilizes. Crypto White House confirms that Trump has ended the Biden war on crypto. Take a listen.
And so the president is correcting that wrong, and he has officially ended the Biden administration's war on the cryptocurrency industry. And I think that's the message he sent with this pardon.
You know, you would think that would really get the crypto space moving, but it didn't move the price of crypto in any way. You know, the market is too unstable still. That's why we need the government to reopen. I think that will bring a lot of positivity to the crypto market. Crypto gets crushed relative to gold and S&P 500. Sentiment predicts a rubber band rebound. So everybody's expecting the same thing, a massive rebound in this space. Everybody's thinking this is the final dip before we go full parabolic. But we've heard it so many times throughout this cycle already. Most crypto investors, most XRP investors, they're so beaten down at this point. A lot of people panic sold when the crash started to happen because they were new into this space. But if you know what you're holding, you will never sell your XRP. If you realize what's coming for this cryptocurrency, you will never sell your XRP. You're going to be able to earn off of your XRP very soon. You know, I always said it. I wish we had the ability to earn off of our XRP back in the bear market of 2022 and 2023. While XRP was sitting there going sideways for days, barely moving by a penny. And it was very frustrating watching that happen. But it got us to the point where we're at right now. Finally, we are about to be able to put our XRP to work for us. There's already options out there. I'm waiting for the risk-free options that I know are coming. Next 24 hours is crucial for the XRP ledger. What they're talking about is the XRP ledger being on the verge of 100 million ledgers, with data revealing less than 24 hours for this milestone to be reached. Most likely by the time this video goes live, XRP ledger will have crossed 100 million ledgers. And you take notice, this coincides with Ripple swell as well. Now, a lot of people thought Ripple swell was really going to push up the price of XRP. I thought it could have a big impact on XRP also. But you really don't know how something's going to affect XRP yet. You know, there was a time where good news would move the XRP price by maybe a nickel. I'm talking back in the bear market. It would move up by 5 cents, and everybody would be like, this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. XRP is about to go parabolic. But then it would come right back down. And any good news that drops out of Ripple swell, I think will have the same effect right now. But who knows? Maybe it's something that could really get the price of XRP going. I would love to see BlackRock announce an XRP ETF. I know they're going to have one. They're not going to miss out on the opportunity to make money off of XRP. As Congress voted this year to pass the Genius Act, the immediate focus is now on a crypto market structure bill that would make sweeping changes to oversight of digital assets. Take a listen to Senator Loomis here.
Overall, when it comes to regulation, SEC Chairman Paul Atkins has said that there's a lot the agency can do without Congress to regulate crypto using exemptions as well as other tools. Should the agency move forward on its own in this way, or should it wait for congressional action, do you think?
I think it should do both. Part of the problem, Scarlett, in the last administration was there were no clear rules of the road. And so you had companies getting heavy fines through enforcement action and fined for rules that didn't exist. And so the industry is very interested in seeing long-term solutions, clear rules of the road that can only come through legislation. That said, I'm very pleased that Paul Atkins is taking the approach at the SEC that there are things they can do now. So companies, while they're waiting for legislation, can move forward with their plans. This is a fast-moving industry. It's a very large industry now, and the sooner they have clear rules of the road, be they at the SEC or through law, the better.
I want to get your take on the fight over stablecoins between the banking industry and the crypto industry. The Genius Act, as you know, prevents stablecoin issuers from paying yield, but nothing prevents exchanges like Coinbase, for instance, from paying yield in the form of rewards to those who hold stablecoins. And the banks are upset about this and want to see this fixed in the next bill. So how do Republican lawmakers choose between the banks, who are kind of the stalwarts of TradFi, and the crypto industry?
Well, personally, it was so difficult to get Genius passed that I kind of hate to reopen Genius. I can understand the frustration of the community banks, but I want them to know that they're going to have access to custody and include and incorporate digital assets into their offerings as banks. 3 states already allow for community banks to custody digital assets. Those states are Louisiana, Virginia, and Wyoming. And I expect when this bill passes that other states will also allow for banks to bank digital assets. This is the future. This is the 21st century economy. And we need to make sure that community banks embrace the opportunities that are presented to them by being able to bank both fiat currency and digital assets.
I wanted you to hear that whole clip, and I am not a fan of Loomis at all. I know she's Bitcoin only, but when she talks about the market structure bill, take notice she was talking about crypto. I don't know if she realizes it or not, but that market structure bill actually hurts Bitcoin. It hurts speculative assets, but it gives value to something that has real world use case and utility. Either she's not aware of that yet, or she doesn't realize how it's going to affect Bitcoin in the long term. But when it comes to stable coins, the banks don't want you earning yield off of stable coins because more people are going to leave the bank. Think about it. You could buy and hold a stable coin on Coinbase or Uphold, and you can earn yield off of that stable coin. So why would you ever keep your money in the traditional banking system, especially when you have a debit card coming from Uphold or Coinbase that you could shop with daily? So while you're out buying things with your stable coins that are stored at Uphold, you're still earning yield on what is left. And the banks are not going to offer you 4% yield or 6% yield. You don't even get 1% interest on your money in the bank. That's why the banks are fighting back against stablecoins. And I hope she doesn't reopen the Genius Act. I hope that they allow exchanges to continue to pay yield to customers of the exchange, because that's our way away from the banking system, the traditional system. And the banks, they need to come up with new ways to bring customers to the door, through the door. You know, they always cite the same thing. How are we going to stay competitive? Well, you need to stop this now so we can continue to make money off of this current system. How about they redesign the banking system where people could actually earn money by keeping their money in the bank? This way, the banks don't have to look at crypto and digital assets as a threat anymore. But either way you look at this, that market structure bill, that's going to really boost the price of XRP. It's going to bring clarity. It's going to bring the institutions into these cryptocurrencies. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.